Forget the pressure to be crushing your workout on day one. Just starting is what matters. Wherever you're beginning and wherever you want to be, start moving with Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, Tread, Row, Guide, or app. With thousands of classes and over 50 Peloton instructors ready to support you from day one. Remember, doing something is everything. Get started with a Peloton Bike or Bike Plus rental at onepeloton.ca/bike/rentals. All access membership separate. Terms apply.
From Commando.com, welcome to the Tech Refresh Podcast, where we scour the web, finding just the right information to help you stay up to date on everything digital. So you are the go-to digital source for your friends and family. We feature the top news, funky stories, gadgets that you need to know about. And after an exhaustive nationwide search to find a digitally savvy show host, they finally gave up and you got me. I'm Mike James. Our distinguished panel of guests is with us. Allie Seligman is the content queen. Hello, Allie.
Hi, Mike. I can't wait to jump in this week.
News director is Ben Bradley from Commando.com.
Hey, Mike. Looking forward to this week's episode.
And Cassidy Taylor is our podcast princess. Welcome, Cassidy.
Another week, another 3 podcasts.
And another news, the top news stories of the week. And we're going to start out with Allie.
Well, it wouldn't be a tech podcast if we didn't talk about Amazon. And today it's all about the shipping. Now, if you live in a city, you probably get your deliveries from an Amazon driver. I know I look out the window and see the Amazon van and I know it's here. But in a lot of rural communities, the U.S. Postal Service delivers those packages. And Amazon wants to change that. They are reportedly looking to handle their own deliveries by creating shipping hubs in rural areas. How do we know this? It wasn't some big announcement. It happens the way that we find out about a lot of new things in tech, job postings. So the postings included, quote, a new delivery business that will support Amazon's rural communities. We don't really know anything about when or where, but we do know that Amazon is expecting to spend a lot more money on shipping and delivery infrastructure. They're looking in the next year to increase that 50%, which is so much. Now, who knows how this could impact you if you're in a rural area or just the everyday person, but it will have a really big impact on the Postal Service. In 2019, the Postal Service delivered 1.5 billion Amazon packages. That was about 30% of the total volume, and that generates billions of dollars in revenue. So we'll see what happens.
So the Postal Service is probably going to be delivering a lot less to Amazon, and this could be like a business opportunity, right?
If they didn't have to, pay the shipping to the Postal Service for it, they could just handle it in-house. That would be a really different thing. And then, you'd see those Amazon delivery vans just about everywhere.
Well, yeah. And as you know, I come from a very, very small town. And there's actually, because the antithesis of this is, oh, you're taking away business from the Postal Service, when the reality is, as someone who's lived in that small town, the Postal Service can't keep up with the amount of supply and demand that, like, everyone's ordering off Amazon and packages are getting lost. Like, our Postal Service back home is a mess because they just can't keep up with the amount of shipping that Amazon is doing in our town. So these kind of services are going to hopefully create more jobs in small towns.
Well, the Postal Service, last I heard, loses about $15 billion a year, so that can't be good for them. Next up, it's Ben with the news on how our phones may be getting a lot more spam. Ben?
So you've got endless robocalls, spoofed numbers, scam calls. They've all just kind of ruined the phone for everybody. Well, then you've got the debt collectors, which, they've been around forever. And it's obviously bad enough when you consider the financial troubles so many families are going through this year because of the pandemic. Well, now a new rule finalized by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, that's a mouthful, is going to allow debt collectors to become even more relentless as time goes on. First up, they're going to be allowed to reach out to you even more often. That means up to 7 calls a week, sometimes more. Oh, and they'll also be allowed to text you, email you, and slide right into your DMs on sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with no limits. Every week, as much as they want. A couple of takeaways on this, though. One, the new rule doesn't go into effect until 1 year after it was finalized, which means October 30th, 2021. And 2, people apparently have the option to opt out of all these electronic communications by debt collectors but the CFPB hasn't said how that's going to work just yet. We've got the details, what we know right now, at commando.com.
Yeah, a text or an email seems okay. I think the DMs, I think getting a message on Instagram that you owe money, like what a jarring, weird thing. That just, that's a bridge too far for me.
Well, just imagine if you get like 10 of them a day or something, Oh, look, I've got all these, Instagram messages. Nope.
Block.
Yeah.
Even more reason to ignore social media, I guess.
All right, so we're up to, I love this story, Waymo crash reports. Cassidy.
We here in Phoenix know of Waymo because they are these cars that are driving all around our town trying to terrorize us and not hit us. Well, in a move that's very different for what autonomous car companies, vehicle operation companies do, is Waymo actually released its first report on their autonomous vehicle operations in Phoenix, Arizona. And so basically, they took all the data from 2019 and the first 8 or 9 months of 2020, and they said, okay, this is how many crashes they were in. These are like the safety analytics of that. So Waymo cars were involved in 18 crashes and 29 near-miss collisions during the 2019 year and the first couple months of 2020. And most of the crashes were rear ends, and I believe all but one were caused by other drivers. And in the one where it wasn't caused by another driver, it was in a simulation, so no harm, no foul. It's their own stuff. And there was only one time where another safety driver had to step in and actually stop something.
So we should just let the robots do it all for us? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently so, but there's another factor of that is because Waymo cars drive so like type A and stringent to the rules, and they follow a certain length back, that there's actually something happening where when people are seeing these Waymo cars on the road, they're trying to mess with them. And so they go and like cut them off or something like that and try to run them off the road. It's like a serious problem. And Waymo is trying to figure out the human factor of that. But yeah, so no bad collisions. I mean, yes, there are some, I believe they had 47 contact events with other road users, but that included other vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists. 18 of those events occurred in real life, 29 were in simulations, and nearly all, quote unquote, of these collisions were the fault of a human driver or pedestrian, and none resulted in severe or life-threatening injuries. So take it what you mean. I mean, do you want them to be perfect, or do you want them to be 99% accurate?
Well, let me just ask you this. It was last month that Waymo actually started their taxi service in Phoenix. Who's going first?
Allie and I together. If we go down together.
Do that for our podcast. Take a ride and just explain what, kind of what you're going through. That would be a good in the field story. It always concerns me when a company comes out and says, well, we did a survey of ourselves and it turns out we're awesome. So not quite.
They wanted to do this to increase transparency because it's not usual that these autonomous car companies release these reports. And they're like, no, here's where we kind of fall short. And that's it.
We've heard that before. I don't know. I'm just a little bit skeptical, especially because we just did the podcast on the Tesla cars that the Consumer Reports said that they were not nearly what they tell us that they were.
But they aren't Waymo.
Speaking of robots running around and that sort of thing, Walmart is changing some of the robots.
They are. So during the pandemic, robots and AI have picked up all these new jobs, right? Doing things that maybe are dangerous for people, or it's just easier to have a robot do it. But at Walmart, robots are getting the boot. So there are robots, they're 6 feet tall, and they scan the shelves at around 500 stores looking for out of stock and misplaced products. And they're out of here. So why the change? Well, Walmart found that humans can do the job just as well. There's no big difference having the robots do it. And there's been some concern from shoppers and their reactions. You can probably imagine walking down an aisle to grab a box of cereal and there's a 6 foot tall robot. Probably a little unsettling. So Walmart's going to replace the robots with workers, the same people who walk around the stores to fill online orders. But don't worry, not every robot lost his job. You'll still see those floor cleaning robots around your local Walmart.
Have you guys seen a robot in a Walmart at all? Any?
No. I also don't go to Walmarts, though.
I was in Walmart before the pandemic, and doing some Christmas shopping in Lake Havasu, and there was a cleaning robot, and I was just like way excited. I was like taking pictures of it, and like I'd go stand in its way to see if it would stop. And yeah, I guess there is that screwing with the robots.
So you're doing with the robot what people were doing with the Waymo cars.
Yes,
you're just trying to make its job harder.
Just see if I could, have it run over my foot or something.
Oh, lay off, Mike. Poor robot.
Now about the robots, though, I thought, and maybe not Walmart, but I thought a lot of these stores were bringing in the robots so they could free up the human employees to, better interact with customers, which isn't exactly a 2020 thing, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like some of these positions, these online order pickers are, if they don't have an order to do, they got to fill their time somehow. And I imagine the number of people who come up to you in a store wanting help these days is down a little bit. So yeah, assuming they have free time, but who knows? Maybe it's just here's another task for your list.
All right. So on that, Ben, you've got an apple wrap-up. Bad apple, good apple, rotten apple. Where are they?
So, it's a time of year when Apple's in the news a lot. It's the fall. It's when they come out with all their new stuff, the new iPhones, things like that. Well, a little bit of bad news. Just in the last few days, Apple has put some guidance over the AirPods Pro. So the AirPods Pro, which is their $250 top-of-the-line wireless earbuds, for the past few months, some users have been complaining problems with static, noise cancellation issues. At first, Apple was replacing them as long as they were under warranty. Well, apparently it's involving enough of these units that Apple's taking it a step further. So if you have a pair of AirPods Pro and you've noticed crackling, static that gets louder when it's noisy outside, or loss of bass, increase in background sound when noise cancellation is turned on, Apple will fix or replace them for free for now up to 2 years from the date you bought them. Now, again, this only involves the AirPod Pro model. We've got the details, what you need to look for, everything at commando.com. Now, speaking of Apple, if you've been waiting for the second wave of iPhones, the new iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, those are now available to pre-order, and they start shipping next week.
Did you already order yours, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it.
Of course he did.
What is it with the iPhone names? Pro, Mini, Max?
Pro Max. It sounds I don't know. It's much. What color did you get, Ben?
I went with the black this year. I got the green last year. I thought it was really cool. Mm-hmm. And then like 2 months and I'm completely bored with it. I don't like the color anymore. So I'm just going back. I can change the case if I want a different color. But yeah, done with the funky colors.
Back to robots, or at least artificial intelligence. Camera operator needs some improvements. What's that about, Cass?
A soccer game got a little bit crazy with the AI. So basically, AI researchers sometimes refer to machine learning technology as brittle, and by this they mean that artificial intelligence lacks a human's understanding of the real-world complexities. And with the end result being that AI systems sometimes break in quick and unexpected ways. And so basically, this was an AI camera operator for this soccer game. And it was supposed to follow the ball. And the AI follows the ball. Well, what also looks like a soccer ball? Maybe the referee's bald head. So this AI camera kept recentering on the referee's bald head because they look the same. They look the same. And you can't fault the AI because how are you going to tell the difference? But they're roughly the same shape. And so it was kind of funny because some scores got missed, on camera, but it wasn't, the world champion of soccer.
Everyone laughed about it, but I thought that was so funny how we look for, AI to replace the human factor. And that is definitely a situation where you would have been better off just paying someone to stand behind the camera. Sorry. I'm laughing about it so much because
because it's very funny.
It's so funny. The video is so funny. And they made a video online where you can look up AI soccer mishap. And they, of course, threw a soundtrack behind it. And the jokes were flying that the AI computer had a crush on the referee. But yes, make sure if you are programming AI, that you have a filter for bald heads.
You guys all have my permission to call me soccer ball from now on. It's okay. I can take it.
Can we just call you Wilson?
Yeah, that's right. Just don't put your hand in my face. That's all I want. All right, it's the Tech Refresh podcast, and we have plenty more coming up, including the Scam of the Week, a quick tip, this week's deep dive about unplugging for one day a week. How in the heck are we going to do that? Also, we've got coming up next, brand new or not true is back. We've got the Clutch portable charger, TrueScan invisible glasses, and the Aux17 phone screening magnifier coming up on Brand New or Not True next.
Asante came to TurboTax after graduating from culinary school and landing a job in the hottest kitchen in town.
My hands are full all day, every day. I love it.
Asante, as your TurboTax expert, I'll make your moves count, guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and your maximum refund. Sound good?
Yes, expert!
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
From Commando.com, welcome back to Tech Refresh Podcast. And right now, it's time for America's newest national game show sensation, where you can play and guess at home a brand new, is it brand new or not true? Every week, literally thousands of new products, sites, apps, and services are announced in the tech world. Some are destined for greatness, others, not so much. Oftentimes, the products sound so crazy, outlandish, and just ridiculous. You sit back and think, what were they thinking? Before you know it, we have another tech millionaire. When playing Brand New or Not True, we're going to present to you, the home listener, or these guys are going to present to us, the listeners, 3 products, 2 of which are absolutely true, and 1 is not true. So at the end of the 3 products, we're going to try to find out which is the 2 true products and find the false product, hopefully. We want you to guess at home, and we're going to start off with your product, Allie.
I have got something that we are all going to want to go buy. It's called Clutch, and it's an ultra-thin portable charger, and it's so small that it fits right in your wallet or your pocket. Now, it weighs just 2 ounces. For reference, there is a popular power bank from Anker that weighs 12 ounces. So this thing is tiny. It's 3 inches by 2 inches, and it's as thick as 2 quarters. So it's like a couple credit cards stacked on each other. It's sleek, it's minimal, the charging cables are built right in, so you don't have to fumble with any extra cords. You can use it with an Android phone, an iPhone. It's got battery life indicators, and it comes in black, pink, or white. Now, you can buy this on Amazon or at clutchcharger.com, and it is $49.
Okay, we got it. The Clutch Charger, $49. Ben, you have product number 2.
So it doesn't matter how big smartphones continue to get. The screen can still be hard to see if you've got poor eyesight. Well, that's why you have the Aux17 phone screen magnifier. So when you first lay eyes on it, it looks like a leather cover you'd carry a tablet in, which, makes it portable. But open it up into kind of a U-shaped stand, and the magnifying glass on one side blows up the screen size of the phone 2 to 4 times the regular size. Great for when you're trying to check your texts, your emails, watch a movie, you name it. And of course, the frame is made of real leather, and the screen is organic glass that filters harmful light sources to provide, wait for it, anti-radiation protection. And again, it's small enough folded up that you can carry it wherever you go. Fits inside just about any kind of bag. The Aux17 phone screen magnifier only costs $8, and you can get it on Amazon. Where can you get a better deal than that?
All right, Cass, what's your product?
Okay, so I am bringing to you this week the TrueSkin invisible glasses. So you may have heard of universal makeup that blends the color of your skin, or braces like Invisalign that look invisible. Well, that same technology is now coming to glasses that you wear on your face. So, everyone knows that wearing glasses can be one of the most embarrassing and frustrating experiences of your life, especially if you have to wear them every day in order to just function. LASIK surgery can still be prohibitively expensive, and contact lenses can be uncomfortable for people that don't want to touch their face. And they're pretty easy to lose. So, in the tradition of, again, Invisalign braces, GlassesUSA.com has launched a new line of frames called TrueSkin that harness the wearer's body heat to turn completely clear. It's incredible technology. The TrueSkin frames are made of special plastic nanowires that bristle to reflect light around them, and when exposed to heat, they're creating a cloaking effect, not unlike that used by Predator, but it's just like on your face. The nanoplastic responds to even low levels of heat, making the heat naturally generated by the human body suitable to create the effect. You can get it eventually directly from your eye doctor, or at GlassesUSA.com, starting at $249.99 a frame.
Wow. Okay. Well, none of these sound actually true. Right off the top, clutch portable charger from Allie. Gosh, I would just think that it's so tiny. How big of a difference could it make, right? Charging a phone. Phone screen magnifier. I could see a use for that, but why wouldn't you just get a newer phone and then zoom in? And then the TrueSkin invisible glasses. Boy, it was so involved. I tend to believe that. Now, either Ben has stumped me twice in a row. I mean, you guys are going to mix it up a little bit, I'm thinking. So only because of that, I'm going to go with the clutch portable charger as... No, she already nodded her head. No. Okay. No, I'll stick with it. Clutch portable charger is the fake product.
I will ask you again this week. Is that your final answer?
Absolutely my final answer. I feel very confident this week, even though I got creamed last week. Go ahead.
You're wrong. Oh. It's real, and I really want one. This thing is awesome. It's so tiny, so skinny. It fits in your wallet or your pocket. It's not going to be as powerful as a big full-size wireless charger, but it's definitely enough to charge your phone, and it's only $50.
So now I'm going to go with the product that I thought could very well be real. The Skin Invisible Glass is the fake one.
Congratulations, Mike.
Oh, I only got it wrong once instead of twice this week.
I thought if I threw the word nanoplastic and nanotechnology in enough that it would sound real.
But that is real technology, yes?
Well, I mean, Invisalign braces are real.
Okay.
Makeup that blends to your face.
You can't make up words when you're in the description. That's no fair.
Then you shouldn't play Scrabble with me.
All right, everybody.
I thought you were going to call mine fake.
And Ben, go ahead. Tell us a little bit more about the phone screen magnifier. Is it going to be a product that sells and makes it, or not a chance?
Oh, it looks like it's been around for a while. It's got some reviews, and for $8, it's I don't know, it's a weird shape. But when it's unfolded, I can't imagine like trying to set it on your lap and magnifying your phone screen. So apparently it works. I'm not going to try it.
All right. I almost got it right this time. I'm getting closer. I'm getting better. I'm very excited. Thanks for joining us for Brand New or Not True. And it's time for the quick tip. Ben.
Okay. Like I said earlier in the podcast, it's that time of year when all the new tech comes out. The smartphones, tablets, computers. Maybe you're thinking, you know what? I've waited long enough. Maybe it's time I upgraded to something a little newer. Great. So you get that shiny new gadget, and that's all you're really focused on. Well, you'd also like to recoup a little bit of that money, so you decide to list your old phone, whatever it is, on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or another online site. And this is where people tend to get themselves in trouble, or at least potentially. They end up selling the item, they get it shipped on time, all that, but they forget to completely wipe it before sending it on its way. And I don't mean cleaning the exterior up, but that's important too. I mean erasing everything on it, resetting your old phone to factory settings, completely wiping your old computer's hard drive. Because there could be plenty of your personal information, some really sensitive stuff too, medical documents, photos, whatever, that could lead to trouble for you if someone with bad intentions gets a hold of it. And it's a big problem. One researcher bought 85 devices from a company selling refurbished gadgets, and of those, only 2 had been properly wiped. So over at Commando.com, we've got step-by-step instructions for deleting info from all kinds of your devices, PCs, Macs, iPhones, and Androids. So that way you can sell your phone without selling all your private data too.
Another get-rich-quick scheme on the internet? Really? No way. That's next on Tech Refresh Podcast. Welcome back to Tech Refresh Podcast from Commando.com, and it's time for the Scam of the Week with Allie, and it's a get-rich-quick scam, another one.
Indeed. So I feel like these scams are always going to revolve around either getting your information or getting your money, or often both. So this one is all about the money. There are lots of investment apps out there where you can turn a little bit of money into a lot of money. One of those is Cash App. You can actually do investments right there in the app. Now, scammers, of course, know this, and they are trying to trick people into investment schemes. And it's spreading through social media. Here's how it works. You see an ad or an image on social media, someone shares it as a post with piles of cash and a caption about how someone turned a few $100 into thousands. They flipped their money, and you can do it too. So you either click the link or contact the person. They say, send me a little money, I'll invest it for you. And then they come back, they tell you all about how much money they've turned that little bit into. But here's the catch. You have to pay some fees before you can get all the money that they made for you. Well, of course, there are fees and delays, and they never actually invested your money. They're just taking you for a ride. It's not really clear how much people have lost just through Cash App, but there was a report about people doing something similar on Instagram. And so far this year, people have lost $463,000 on Instagram with essentially the same scam. The average is about $2,800 per person. So this one's pretty nasty, really preying on people who are hoping to turn a little bit into a lot more.
And so what do you tell your friends and family to watch out for this?
Anytime someone offers to take your money through social media or through an app, just say no. If you are investing your money yourself in an investment app, awesome, go for it. Otherwise, stick with a professional. You don't need some random person on social media managing your money. Don't give it away.
And it's time for our deep dive topic this week, which is...
This week, we are going to get into technology breaks. I came across an article last week that kind of got me thinking, and I tried it out over the weekend, which was how to basically take control of the devices that have kind of taken control over you. And it's this idea that came from an author, Tiffany Schlein. She wrote a book called 24/6, The Power of Unplugging Once a Week. And the idea is to take a technology break, turn off your phone completely for 24 hours once a week. Pick whatever day of the week is best for you, whatever period of 24 hours is best for you. And so I was kind of wondering with all of you, do you think you could do it? Do you think you could turn off and completely unplug all your technology one day a week?
I can stop anytime I want to, but I don't want to.
Says every addict ever.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's one that would take a little pre-planning and communication ahead of time for me. I think not checking my email for a full day would get stressful in a way that unless everybody was expecting it, I don't know.
I don't know. It's like having to get your affairs in order and
Yeah, it's getting ready to die.
So is that maybe a sign that you're too into the connected world?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's say I turn off my phone. Do I have to turn off my watch too?
Yes.
So can I tell you what I did? Is I tried it out last Friday night through Saturday night, and that was because my partner was in town. So it worked out because the only person I talked to on the phone was with me.
Mm-hmm.
I texted my mom, my dad, my grandparents, and said, hey, you won't be able to get a hold of me for 24 hours. I'm alive. I'm fine. Bye. 2 out of 3 of those people didn't even text me back. So that kind of tells you the communication structure within my family dynamic. So I took the break, and so did my better half, and he really struggled with it. He couldn't do it. He kept pulling his phone and he's like, wait, I got to check this. Why can't I look up this? You know, when we would have debate about something, it's like he wanted to look up like who was Alec Baldwin first married to. Seriously, he's like, I have to have the answer right now. And it was that sort of instant gratification, whereas I was unplugged and unbothered. But it was because, like Allie said, I kind of handled my affairs beforehand. And I was like,
Well, it wasn't. It's interesting that he wasn't. It wasn't him trying to text someone or check his email. He just wanted to use Wikipedia or IMDb.
He just wanted to fact check, just to be right.
Cassidy and I talked about this on Friday, and I promised that I would go ahead and try it this weekend as well. But my time would be Sunday morning through Sunday night. So not a full 24 hours, but a good 12 at least. And so that was the plan. I woke up on Sunday morning really early, probably around 5 o'clock, and I went, Alexa, turn on the lights. And then it went downhill from there. So I gave up by like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, there's no way, because I've got an apartment for rent right now. So I get calls from people I don't recognize, and I don't want to miss one of those. So I couldn't do it.
You don't realize how connected you are until you try to disconnect.
Right.
I got to tell you, disconnecting, once you are able to fully do it and like sit down and read the pile of books you've been meaning to read or the articles you've been meaning to read, it really was kind of nice to have that reset. And then when I did find myself right around like 2 hours before I got my phone back, like I can't.
Answer for what you were going to do.
Yeah.
Well, it's even harder right now, though, because most of us just aren't around most of the people in our lives. And so, texting or calling or, that's how I keep in contact with my parents. It's how I keep in contact with my friends. So it seems even harder right now and maybe a little isolating potentially. But I kind of go in between. On Sundays, that's my day where I have my phone set to essentially the screen. I have screen time limits set, and so I have to bypass those limits. So it gives me an extra little check to say, do I really want to be on my phone right now? So I try, I look at it every now and then, but I really do try to leave it alone. And that's where I find a nice break from technology, I think.
I'd be okay with taking a break from talking to people, but like all the news alerts I get and try to set that aside for hours, it'd be like a, sensory deprivation chamber. And then there's just like this overload that comes flooding in once you finally switch it back on.
Well, then I realized like my other entertainment for reading, it's all on a Kindle on my tablet. So
that doesn't count. You can read on a Kindle.
Oh, you can. See,
the idea is disconnecting from the outside world.
Okay. I thought it was like a digital disconnect completely.
No, like I still played video games without the internet.
Oh, wait a minute. That's cheating. That can't be right.
No, because the point is to disconnect. That's not cheating.
Oh, that's totally cheating. We got to go to the book now. We got to go to the book and find out.
I'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. It's the Tech Refresh Podcast. We're going to be right back with the Feel Good Story of the Week. And this is something that you are going to absolutely love about a new #1 video on YouTube. Tech Refresh coming back from Commando.com. From Commando.com, it's the Tech Refresh Podcast and time for our Feel Good Story of the Week. And we've got a brand new #1 video on YouTube, Allie.
Okay, so I apologize in advance because we're talking about a song and it's going to be stuck in all of our heads for probably about the next week. It is a very, very, very catchy tune, and it's now the most viewed video ever on YouTube with over 7 billion views. And what is that song? Baby Shark.
Baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark. Mommy shark, do-do-do-do.
Yeah, no, I'll send you the song
Okay.
file, Mike, because you're going to play Baby Shark in the podcast.
Oh, man, do I have to listen to it, or can I just, put it in there? I have never heard of it. I'd never heard
Oh,
it.
Mike, it's going to be stuck in your head for...
Oh, this is important. We have to talk about
this is aren't you in for a treat? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how you missed this cultural phenomenon.
Can I just have Cassidy send me the file? I'll just drop it in the folder without listening to it, and then I don't have to go.
I'm going to play it for you for the first time and record you watching it for the first time in my office.
You're going to be humming it forever. So the song was recorded by a Korean-American singer, and it was produced by a South Korean education company. It's been on YouTube since 2016, and it even made the Billboard Top 100 in 2019. I have no idea how you haven't heard this before, Mike, but the video that it surpassed was the 2017 single Despacito. Now, that held the record for the most views before that. It had for 3 years about, but Baby Shark wins.
Okay.
It is the most annoying song on the planet.
And how is that a happy story, by the way?
I mean, it'll bring you some joy.
Okay.
It brings
I'll
lots of
smile
children
and
lots
laugh.
of joy. That's for
All
sure.
right. Okay.
It's
Well, just make
definitely
it
a
Mike's
feel-good.
ringtone.
Please. Okay, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you at home for joining us. The Tech Refresh podcast, available at commando.com. By the way, you're listening to this on the Tech You Should Know podcast, but we are getting people all signed up for the Tech Refresh podcast, and you can find that on your podcast player by just searching KOMANDO and then look for the Tech Refresh podcast. And again, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe when you go look us up so you'll get these delivered to your device every week automatically. And we will see you next week.
Here's something true. All new Celebro nematicide with Reclamil Active from Corteva Agriscience. It's true nematode control that also preserves the life of your soil. Now try it. Visit corteva.us/healthy soil to learn more.